and welcome to end of week 2, Ugly
Nice.
Stick Fantasy League, as of yet named podcast. I'm official Yahoo Test, and on the line we have Puck University. Welcome, Puck.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. I think you should keep that as a running joke all the way through.
Yeah,
we still don't have
I'm
a
going to
name
say
for
I
it.
have been considering that we just have some stupidly wordy name like the as of yet unnamed Ugly Stick Fantasy League podcast, something like that. Yeah.
Very good.
Because I reckon I could keep that up for a few weeks. I don't know about going into next year, but yeah.
No, just have it as an unsaid. Well, I guess we're saying it now, but
We've ruined it. We've ruined it.
It's the no name podcast, but that's our hook. That's what keeps us up with the kids.
So Jacko's ditched us for some reason, but you've so kindly filled in today. So how about you start us off? What's the news with hockey with you? I mean, obviously you're sitting on top of the table, and we will be going through the results a bit. But how have you felt about this season of hockey so far? I mean, great start to the season, I think. But what do you think?
Yeah, are we talking season of fantasy so far, or season of NHL hockey?
Both, but of course,
or two-part question.
More NHL side.
Okay, cool. Look, full disclaimer, I watch a ton of NHL, as much as I definitely would like to watch a lot more of. Catch highlights here and there. But yeah, man, Devils fan.
Yep.
And Devils doing pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, I mean, obviously the night, the Vegas team, which I still can't remember their name. What are they?
Golden Knights.
Golden Knights?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they just be the Knights? Why do they have to be the Golden Knights?
Oh, because some big casinos and stuff, gold. The Golden
Knights.
Slipper and stuff.
I think
that's a horse race. But
yeah. Yeah, so Devils and the Knights doing pretty good. They both won 6 out of 8, 6 out of the last 8, 6 out of their first 8, which is pretty phenomenal. Devils did pretty shit last year, so wait, we allowed to swear on the podcast?
Yeah, sure. We just won't get any advertising revenue.
That's alright. I was drinking this delicious Red Bull before as well. Red Bull sponsor us. We're in 2 weeks in?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, what's your take, Ashdog?
Oh, I'm loving it. I mean, it's a good start for the fantasy team, so I don't really care what the real hockey is going.
The real deal.
But I'm trying to get a bit into the podcast. I've been doing a bit of research. You come across the shutout and stuff like that, and we haven't had any big major issues like that this year, so that's good, I guess.
The lockout.
Yeah, lockout. Yeah. So no problems like that.
Yeah, that was terrible.
And had some really big signings.
Took half a season.
Yeah, exactly. So big, but we also had a good off season with lots of big profile contract extensions, good trades. So I was looking forward to this season. Had a few. You mentioned before we started recording, but a few guys have come back from injury, like Stamkos, and he's playing really well. So it's good to see.
Stamkos back.
But yeah. So he's back. So it's really cool to see a guy. I know Stamkos particularly because he was on my team, but I know he actually cut his season short. Even though I think Tampa was still in a playoff contention, cut his season short.
Wow.
Did the knee surgery, and he's back, being a real top shelf sniper, like we all know him to be. So it's cool. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. It's great for him to. But anyway, so I guess we'll start off with our wrapper of the week. Now, Jake has very kindly prepared some notes for us. So I was going to go off his stuff pretty heavily, and we can add something anyway. But Jacob's basically saying, it's early on, so obviously these star players, some of them are not going to fire straight out. Some might, but if they're rated highly, you can expect that they're going to produce the goods, or at least similar.
Yes, I think there was mention of some kind of a thumb sucking week in there.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Okay, so
something along those lines.
No panic yet. But anyway, so he starts off. Of course, he's going to talk about you first, because you're at the top. So anything you want to mention about your team? What do you think has put you at the top? Anyone in particular you did some research on?
Not at all. I think not at all. I think I've been quite lucky this year so far, and we may see it kind of even out in the next couple of weeks as as I get through a couple of teams.
Okay. Well, you think your goalies or your... I haven't actually had a good look at your team, but is it your goalies or is it like your...
No, man, my
forwards
goalies weren't even that good to start off with. I picked up Fleury.
Oh, no. That's right, yeah, Jacob mentioned that.
Yeah, but he went straight to injured reserve, so I'm kind of holding on to him to see how he goes.
Did you see who's he's replaced by, though?
No, I didn't. Who?
I believe it's Malcolm Subban has taken up the mantle, and hockey fans should recognise that name. But yeah,
brother of PK Subban.
The brother, yep, and apparently I think he's got a younger brother as well, who's some hot prospect for the.
Wow.
I think the Canucks, one of the Canadians. I don't think it's Canadians, although it probably
What's
should
his
be.
Name?
But
Ruben Subban.
But yeah, he's a hot prospect. So how's that, Heath? Three brothers, all.
Yeah, it happens like that.
Yeah, Golden Knights. Yeah, so he's been called up.
There's a good. Speaking of brothers, there's this good trivia fact that because Gretzky's brother. Now this is going back to Jacko's bloody Gretzky fetish.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, if you're gonna have a fetish over a player, it's not a bad choice.
True that. I think they hold like the most points ever scored by like two brothers, and it's something crazy like Gretzky has whatever how
99% of them, yeah.
Yeah, and his brother's got 1 point, and together they beat all the other brothers.
I just sent you a picture of Malcolm Subban. If you
I heard it come through. I'm sure all the listeners out there thought, "Oh yeah, man."
And so it looks a lot like him as we can see, especially this picture up here, the one I sent you. You can't see what I'm saying, but the picture I sent you.
That's cool.
Bit of a dead ringer for him, I gotta say. Even the surly look.
That is racist. You can't be saying that, Ash. Just kidding.
All right.
We're all wholesome.
Great. Well, yeah, okay. So it just sounds like you got lucky. I mean, typical. So if we look at the next person listed, Fanuff said. I was going to pronounce it. Fanuff said.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Jacob hasn't actually talked about that much. He's just kind of saying he's doing well, mixed record so far. Then it goes on to me, of course, sitting at number 3.
Yeah.
I'm happy with how we're going. I've had 2 shutouts.
Yeah, man.
2 shutouts in 2 weeks. So I'm pretty happy.
Damn, girl.
I think, and they're from 2 different goalies as well. So pretty happy with all that.
All right. That's good.
Otherwise, who we got? Brian's best team. Sounds like he had a bit of a heartbreaker last year. I wasn't following him that closely, but Jacob said.
Yeah.
Jacob
Did
said.
he get to the
playoffs, apparently?
Yeah, final. Yeah. I didn't even make the playoffs last year. A bit sad about that.
Yeah, I missed out as well, I think. But I did join a bit late, so that's okay.
If anybody else, like the Brian's best teams, the Siggy Tardusts, the Benders of the league, I don't even know what anybody looks like. Sorry, it would be bloody awesome to get those guys on the podcast as well, even if they're in a hat and sunnies. That'd be bloody awesome.
I think they should be.
So kids, get amongst it.
No, I think so. I think everyone should join the podcast. It's quite fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we're a bit biased.
I'm having fun so far.
Thank you. We got it. We got the Biflugian. I guess that's a player name as well.
I think it's Bufflin.
Bufflin, yeah, up the Bufflin.
Up the Bufflin.
Apparently a newcomer though,
maybe.
Which is good. We always like a bit of
new
blood. But there's a lot to learn
in
fantasy hockey. It's not like you can just kind of rock up, put your skates on. You know, you've got to take the protectors off. There's all kinds of things you have to remember with skating.
Yeah, training was got to come off. You got to put your mouth guard in.
Yeah, mouth guard. So.
Or put your visor down.
And who else we got? We got Rusty's trombones and Benders not doing too well, but second week. We've got to. We can't have winners without losers anyway. So think of yourself as making the top half possible. That's normally what I say to people like
that. Just keep setting your lineups, guys. I think that's what I'm not sure about some of them. I did check. It's hard because part of me when I'm playing against people, I want to say to people who I'm against, check their lineup. But then I'm like, if they don't check their lineup, then I win. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I guess that's a lesson that your points matter so much, and missing, just not setting a team every now and then. You can miss a guy, a goalie who has a blind.
Oh man, one day I forgot to set my lineup and it cost me like 3 goals. I couldn't believe it.
So as we move along, then, any kind of player highlights you wanted to mention?
Well, I think I picked up Dustin Brown.
Yep.
And
solid choice.
Just as a quick glance, yeah, bold choice. But I got him for his hits. You guys mentioned last year that little note about hits, and I got to say he's having a bit of a resurgence here. So yeah, that's probably, I'll tip my hat. I mean, I'm obviously biased to my own players because I don't really look at too many others, but no, yeah, Dustin Brown. I'd say his stats, but I'm a bit slower with my left hand pulling him up. So
that's okay. I've got it here. So picked up an assist, point streak of 4 games. He's not had a 4-game point streak since March 2013. So he's with the Kings. Not bad. 70% owned.
Yeah, I'm with the Kings. So he's killing it now. But tip my hat in that direction.
They finish off with, we are not continuing on this. Sorry, we're not counting on this fantasy boost to continue, but take it while it lasts. So
yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I disagree. I reckon you can go the distance.
Maybe Yahoo Fantasy knows something we don't know.
But maybe the official Yahoo test page can. I can ask them for some assistance.
Just dump. Yeah, sure. Keep him. He'll be fine forever. Okay. Well, if we look through the top player rankings, as always, we just log into our Yahoo account. Click on the Players tab. We bring up this page. We got the players at the top here. We set this to
playlist.
All players. Yeah, playlist. Yeah, I just click on players. It brings you the playlist. But yeah. And then, have to set the status to all players, and then show my team, and then hit filter. And we'll see top ranked. We mentioned him just a second ago, Steven Stamkos. I mean, the guy's a legend. I don't like when people say geniuses and legends and stuff of the game, but really Stamkos has got to be up there for sure. What a machine.
Top ranked, I can't even see the top rank. Yeah. Oh, okay, this week, Roger.
Or season total.
Oh, I've got it on season total.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
This is the good stuff.
He's the number 1.
Pre-season, current
number 1. Current number 1. Yeah, so we got Steven Stamkos doing pretty well. 3 goals, 15 assists. I guess this is the thing we got to mention about Stamkos. Kucherov obviously having a bit of a hard time with Stamkos not there. But I think Kucherov really played very well last year. And now that he's got his sniper back,
man,
you can imagine the two of them are probably doing pretty well. 6 plus minus, pretty nice.
Yeah, it's good when you can get them on a good line together like that.
Also a big face-off winner, Stamkos, because I actually picked him about 2 seasons ago. He's a very good guy.
As a face-off specialist.
Well, just he's just that power center that you want. His goals, assists, he's got to gets you everything. So, but yeah, definitely a big face-off winner. So Stamkos, it'll be no surprise, but it is, like I said, really great to see him coming back after an injury. Next down, we got who's next? Kucherov, of course. I got to say, this guy is definitely one of the top players of the league. He was fantastic.
Oh yeah, here we go. I'm all good.
Yep.
All right, I'm looking at the 7-day totals now, so I'm going to go season totals.
Yeah, no, that's right. Mine's just set there by default. But yeah.
Yeah, Cooch. That's all I like to call him.
Yeah, Coochies, but he's doing very well himself. 10 goals, 6 assists, so he's really being the Stamkos of the line now, isn't he? He's kind of taken over, but fair enough. He did well.
Who's winning? Who's leading in goals this year so far? 10. Oh yeah, Kuch. Yeah. So Ovi and Kucherov.
Yeah.
Kucherov.
Yeah, pretty good.
Man, that's hectic.
Next down, we got Ovi. No surprise, he's been top 5 ever since the beginning of the season, I believe, because he got that hat trick on his open games. So he's been right up there. Still tipping over pretty well. Nothing much to say about him. Another power play goal. Oh, yeah. That's a surprise. Rocket Richard Trophy. I believe we mentioned that the other week.
The which one?
The Rocket Richard
the
Trophy.
Rocket Richard?
Oh, is that how you say it? Okay. He's on his way to that anyway. And we got. I always forget how to pronounce this guy. Sagan. Is that it?
Sagan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Tyler Sagan.
Tyler Sagan.
Yeah, he's up there. Obviously, one of your players.
I don't notice it. Yeah, I will tip my hat to the old Sagan.
Anything you want to add?
Doing pretty good. 6 goals, 2 assists, three power plays. That's happy days. He's not too bad in face-offs. Pretty handy with a nice 86. He's my keeper as well.
Yeah, not bad.
Got a lot of time for Sagan.
I've got his mate. I've got Ben on my team. So
oh yeah, nice.
Hopefully the two of them will be having a productive season this year.
Yeah, and I think Dallas, if I had to, and I've chosen the last 3 years, so I think maybe this year will be the year. I reckon Dallas could go for the cup, but I don't even know how they're doing this year. So it's a big.
Yeah, but they were amazing last year. They had an amazing start to the year, so definitely. Any kind of players on the list here that you want to point out? I mean, I see we've still got Evander Kane right up there.
We got Oshie who hasn't been picked up by anybody. What's going on with? Oh no, the Bender's gone. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no, there's no free agents in this top list anymore.
No free agents.
Alex Pietrangelo, he's normally a pretty good fantasy pick. I've actually had him in my team before. It's good to see him sitting up there. Forsberg.
What else is going on? Is there anyone in this list who shouldn't be here? Looking at the stats, probably not. They're all pretty.
It's just such a small sample at the moment. Tarasenko is kind of low.
Yeah.
But
Vlad.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at some goalies. Okay, well we've got Vasilevsky. He's top.
Man, there's been a lot of goalie injuries lately. I was looking through everyone's goalie. If I could just take a little sidebar, as they say in the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch, so mine's Puck U. I can't read my writing. Siggy Tardis up the Bufflin and Cat Puzzle all got bloody goalies who are all injured. So Schneider's out, Rask is out, and I got Fleury and then
Subban. Wait, is Subban out as well? Oh no, Subban.
Yeah, Malcolm.
We were
just talking about him. Jeez, he fell from grace quite quickly.
But who's gonna?
So I wonder who's in there at bloody Vegas then. They might have one of those
Oscar Danks.
Danks.
I don't know where he's from.
Maybe a couple of witches' hats or something like that.
Probably just come up front of minors or something, right? Gee, I bet he thought he wasn't going to be getting a run. He's like, new team.
Nah.
Fleury. Subban. Oh yeah, I'll get the game anytime soon. Freaking. How many games in?
There's I forget the context of it. But Jacko was just telling me the other day there was a situation where there was 2 goalie injuries in a game, and they had the third one, but they had to dress someone as a backup goalie to the third backup or something like that.
I think I've heard this before.
So they ended up dressing they dressed the water boy.
That's right.
And,
yeah.
Or the
I think I've seen that before.
Imagine that guy.
And he's just sitting there on the bench, right, with in his full gear. Is that right? I think I've seen that before.
Fuck yeah, just absolutely shitting bricks.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, fuck, I don't want to be out there. Okay, yeah, well, yeah, that's a good point. There's a lot of injuries, but at the top of the goalies, who we got here? Jonathan Quick, no surprise. Corey Crawford, no surprise. Mike Smith, Mike Smith had a bit of a smashing week this week. Did pretty well.
What was he save percentage this week? No, .927 overall. That's pretty bloody awesome.
Yeah, not too bad.
Like Jacko was saying the other week, all those save percentages just out of this world this year.
Yeah, it's nuts. Anyone else? Anyone else you want to kind of mention who's been a bit of a
goalie wise?
Well, anyone really? Any kind of
Pekka
person who surprised you?
I picked up Bobrovsky. I was pretty happy with how he's doing so far. I think you're saying you had him a couple of years back. Or...
Yeah, he really disappointed me when I had him. I really only got him because of that Jay and Dan podcast thing, and they're always like, "You're off the case, Bobrovsky." You know that? Have you seen that before?
Nah, not at all.
No, you know Jay and Dan? They're really good. You should check them out. They're on Fox Sports.
All right,
they're on Fox Sports now, but they're originally Canadian. Well, they still are Canadian, I guess. But they're they made their names through Canadian hockey commentary on whatever the Canadian sports broadcaster is, and then I guess ESPN or something bought them. Fox bought them, and so now they do just all of Fox Sports. But they're hugely funny, and definitely look up Jay and Dan Bobrovsky montage. It's very, very funny because they treat him like he's like some kind of like rookie cop on the force. So like every time he has like a blowout game, or whatever, it's like you're off the case, Bobrovsky. So that's pretty good. So that's pretty much the reason I picked him up. But geez, he disappointed me. He was my backup goalie, but geez, yeah,
did you ever just yell that when you were alone?
I did.
Yourself, trying to set your line.
I even say it now. He's not even on my team anymore. So yeah.
Nice. Well, hopefully I won't be saying that this year. Because right now you're on the case, Bobrovsky, and you're doing well.
Come on, boppers. All right, great.
So
okay, well, if nothing else to talk about, we'll move on to the fancy tip of the week. There's not much to it really, but let's just say that we're losing a category. We're losing a category badly. So best thing to do is that stat tracker thing is quite good actually, but we'll do it this way. So just say we go into our league. We see these are all new matchups, I guess. So go to last week. Okay, click on my matchup. Now I won 7-5. It's not the kind of win you really want. You want to be a bit more comprehensive than that.
Really. 7-5 is good, man.
It's not bad.
Not losing. Yeah,
but it's these categories are going to really add up at the end of the year. So you want to be you want to be really stomping. So
anything above 6 and you're laughing at.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the winner's a win. But anyway, we look through these categories. We think, well, which of these are pretty close? We could say hits. Hits look pretty close. So I got 29-20.
Yep.
Now, the first thing I would do before making any decision on this is I would actually go to the stat tracker.
Yep.
Because we want to see how we're tracking kind of compared to everyone else. Now, I don't think this is going to work now because it's too late because it's already the week. But you go in.
The week it's gone.
Go into league stats, and then I would find week totals. I don't know how to go back a week. Do you know how to go back a week in this stat tracker?
In the stat tracker,
yeah.
I do not.
I don't think you can. But anyway, that's what I would do. Like near the end of the week, I would go and see how am I comparing with everyone else. If you're only off by a little bit, sure, maybe your lineup's just not firing. But if you're off by a lot, then it's time to go into players. And then we go all available players. And we can go stats. So I like to look at all of them, the total and the average, plus the last 30 days. So especially if you look at last 7 days, sometimes you can catch a guy who's a bit of a rising star. He's got a bit of a hot hand. And of course, past results guarantee future results. So you want to be picking up anyone who's
always.
He's scored 1 goal when he hasn't scored anything for 5 games. You can be sure he's on a 10-game goal streak right there. So you pick him up. But anyway, we look at these people. Normally it's going to be all forwards defensemen. But anyway. And then we say, okay, hits. So we click on hits. It's going to sort by hits. And we can see John Hayden, who is a free agent, playing for Chicago. He's leading at the moment. And we see he's got 3 assists and no goals. So it's a bit of a risky option. He's not going to be giving many offensive points for you. As we look down, so maybe we can lose a few hits. No one's really popping out here. Casey Casadalis playing for the Islanders. Not many offensive options, but he is giving you 59 face-off wins, some shots on goal, quite a few hits, and a few blocks.
Is that the projected totals for the season?
Well, I look at all of them normally, last 30 days and everything. Just see.
Nice. And that projected one, I wonder how accurate it would be.
Well, it told me that my team wasn't very good last year, and it was right because I didn't do very well. All right. Well, but that's what this is what I'll do. And then the other thing is, it can be a bit risky, but I always look at the own percentage. Look at the own percentage.
Oh yeah, same.
You want to see? Well, what do other people know that I don't know? Because Jacko does this to me all the time. Something will happen. He'll be like, oh yeah, I heard about this because he was blah blah. He did this, this, and this. Because there's all these little kind of insider trading style bits of info that's people aren't aware of, and then it's kind of too late. So I always like to look at the own percentage. And if you've got a guy who's only owned in 1% of leagues, unless he's so I always be careful about people like that. But if they're owned a lot, and if you look at their previous seasons and they seem to kind of consistently hit a certain amount of points and their line hasn't changed, which is what that website Jacko suggested, Daily Face Off.
Daily Face Off.
Yeah, that's really good. It shows
big fan of Daily Face Off.
Yeah, it's a great website. It shows all the lines and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's one thing to look into. But
what's interesting as well, yeah, is like their plus and minuses of whatever else. Like sometimes when you're about to pull the trigger on a trade, you can see how many, if they're up, if they're up 4% in their ads or down and stuff. I find that quite helpful.
So yeah, what he's talking about is you can go into research and transaction trends, and we can see it gives us a nice colourful graph. We see at the top, M. Sergachev for Tampa Bay. I'm guessing a lot of Tampa Bay players are going to be picked up now just because that one line is firing so well. I mean, they did ramp. Yeah. They ran over Pittsburgh 7-1, I think, this week. So, and I was actually crestfallen because I had Murray as my goalkeeper. But then my stats didn't look that bad. So I go in there. They freaking rested him for the day, didn't they? And they brought in the backup.
Bloody ripper.
And I was like, thank you. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I brought up, actually, that's going to be another fantasy. But anyway, I'll just do this quickly. So the transaction trends. We had some guys, so, we've got some guys who got quite a lot of ads, 2,000 ads versus 11 drops. So those guys can be handy. But then again, you got to think, what's the average idiot looking like in Yahoo Fantasy? Well, you got 2 face cams of them right here. So don't just trust what other people are doing in fantasy. People are idiots and can't, crunch statistical data. So this is the other thing you can do. You can kind of check, that daily face-off is a much better way to do that. But if you're just kind of in the game, so how did I know that my goalie was rested? Well, you do this. You go back to the week. Now, there's a few ways. You can look at the player, right? So you bring up his little card like this. And you can see his stats. So October 2-2 at Tampa Bay, lost 7-1. But then you can see he's got dashes for all his categories. Oh, thank you. And then we can actually click on this because it's hyperlinked, and that'll take us to the match page where we can see the results. And if you don't have to do anything, you just scroll right down, and you'll see the rosters. And you can see here, Antti Niemi. 7 goals against, 32 saves. Not a bad effort.
That's good percent.
But he's sitting at a 0.7.
I mean, is it though?
Well, he's sitting at a 0.78 because he only made 25 actual saves.
That's not very good then.
Yeah, and
take it all back.
Yeah, and we look down the goals. Point Stamkos, Gorade, 2 for Kucherov, of course, man's machine, and even Strauman and Sergachev. Mikhail Sergachev, that was that guy.
Nice.
Even the defenders got 2 goals, so a bit of a shellacking. Home game for Tampa, I'm pretty sure it was, but I'm okay with it.
I'm gonna go into yours.
I'm glad
that
Niemi was on the ice, not my guy. So that's one thing you can look at, but obviously you want to be setting this ahead of time.
Yep.
If possible.
Yep. While we're on that subject as well, trap for new players. If you And I've been caught by this before. This is why I say I've been stung by my own inexperience. Where if you're winning for if you're all of a sudden you get to the last day of fantasy, and your goalie stats are you're winning on saves, you're winning on percentage, everything's looking good, and then you bloody put in, and you look at the person who you're against, they don't have a goalie in, so you're like, sweet, I can even bump my goalie stats up even further. But you run the risk of losing in some state. You snatch defeat from the jaws of victory by playing a goalie that day. So you can have a look. And if you're already ahead in goalie stats and you're looking and sitting pretty, you may even consider resting a goalie. Well, I don't know if that's a bit of advice.
Well, it's funny you mentioned this because you actually reminded me of what my fantasy tip was going to be. I was actually totally winging it then. But my actual fantasy tip was going to be more of a question to you. I was going to say, okay, in this situation, just say you've got a game coming up like this, okay? I wouldn't say, on paper, that Tampa Bay should be whipping Pittsburgh this badly. But if you're going to ask me, look, you don't have anyone on offense. I'm pretty sure I got no Pittsburgh or Tampa Bay players for offense. You've only got a goalie in defense. So if there's a big blowout, you're just going to end up worse off. So for you, just say it wasn't Pittsburgh and it's one of the kind of more minnow teams. I don't know. I don't want to insult anyone. Okay. Coyotes or one of those kind of crapper teams or something, and they're going up against
one of those shithouse.
Yeah, well, they're going up against a red hot Tampa Bay with Kucherov and Stamkos firing, and Strawman. Sure. I know Strawman is actually quite a good defenseman. So if you got him scoring as well, and then you got Vasilevsky, so they're just gonna, a shutout's all on the cards, right? It pretty much was. They only scored a one goal in the third period, but sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Kucherov, he scored a goal in every game so far, or his last 7 or something like that?
He's doing very well. So anyway, you go have a game coming up like this, what do? Do you rest the goalie? Do you not? What do you...
I would only rest the goalie if the situation I said where you can, because the percentage doesn't, go off any of the other players. It's only the goalie save percentage, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just saying that if you don't have any offensemen, or all you can gain out of the game is good goalie stats, but you could definitely lose terrible goalie stats if they have a game like this. So then, Michael. Yeah, so
that does get tricky. Hey,
it is a tricky question. Let me just add my 2 cents before you get in there, so I can steal your thunder.
Yeah.
What I would say is, it's obviously always going to be relative. You have to look at where you are in the season. You have to look at what your goalie points are looking at. And look at, I got maybe 2 or 3 games left in the week. How many goalie games does my opponent have? Am I going to win the stat anyway without having to play him? Well, probably don't play him. Because although one game might not have a big effect, it could. But if it's close, definitely you probably have to play him and just go for the risk, because you never know. He could come out with a shutout. You can't ever guarantee these things. But I think the other thing is you got to keep in mind is that you have some stats like, saved shots, saves, which, even if they have a shit game, they still might get, hopefully 10, 20, 30 saves. So that category can only really improve. But of course, your save percentage, what's the other? Goals against. What are the other dynamic stats
there? Saves and shot. Oh, so you got what? You got wins?
Save. Yeah, wins, goals against average, saves, save percentage.
Saves.
Yeah, so obviously, most of your stats can become worse, but at least with your saves, that can go up. And that's why having 3 goalkeepers is a good strategy, because you can really pile up those. Sure, you might have 3 kind of average goalkeepers, but between the 3 of them, they might be able to eke out enough wins and saves that you might end up, and then if hopefully one of them gets a shutout, that's 3 categories out of the 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. So that's not too bad. Anyway, so what's your take? I guess pretty much what I said.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Jeez, I actually even thought about that, to be honest. That's bloody fantasy tip for me. The only time I thought about resting goalies is if it looks like I could lose a category. But I've always generally just got my goalies and played them no matter what. Maybe to my own detriment now that I think about it.
Yeah, well, it's a question I've been wrestling with a little bit, and I think in the end you've just got to think, if they're on the ice, they're going to be getting you points, and you're really banking, you're kind of betting that they're not going to get. If you leave them on the ice, you're just hoping that they don't get screwed. And most of the time, goalies don't get screwed. So, and then even if they have a bad game, you could still get a win. Even if they don't stop that much, if their offense is being crazy and they score 6 goals or whatever, then you could still
that's it.
Win. So
I think it's early on in the game. If they get 3 goals against in the first period, they'll probably get pulled anyway.
Yeah.
So which is not going to be good. They can't really get a chance to claw back. I guess that's 3 goals you kind of cop, but
better
generally
than 7.
Can get too much worse. Fuck nice.
Yeah. So I'm in 2 minds about it, but I remember I did it against kind of unintentionally. I did it against you. I didn't, and it was in it was a playoff match as well, and I ended up resting him for the final day, and then he ended up having a really good game, and I think I would have won that category. I don't know if you remember last year, but it was actually you and me, and you knocked me out.
Yeah, we were going head to head.
Yeah, and I think I would have won that because I would have won the save percentage goalie category, which was a tie, or you won it. So then I would have flipped it around a 1-by-1, whereas you ended up winning by 1.
Damn.
So that kind of hurt me, and that kind of made me realize, well, you got to put the guy on the ice. It's just otherwise you're saying goodbye to fantasy points
That's it. And if you're not happy with the goal, I mean, you can get goalies and not be happy with how they're doing and stuff, and then rest them. But then you've got to think about if you're continuously resting, you may as well just get rid of them and pick someone else up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it really does depend, but most of the time you're probably better off just playing them, unless it's really close. But even then, it's like if they have a great week. Great game. They could win 2 or 3 categories. We're up to the player quiz now.
Okay, mine is more of a rip-off of another podcast, and I'm shameless in that no originality. And so I was listening to this other podcast, which was called Tell 'em Steve Dave. It's a pretty good one. So they play this game called 1 Truth 3, which is awesome. And I'll just did not come up with a game.
Yep, sure, that's right.
Not that they're going to sue us or anything like that. So, I'm going to tell you 3 hockey facts.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is correct, and the other 2 are made up. And you have to guess which one is the true one.
Okay.
If anybody listened to the Ugly Stick Hockey podcast that we did a couple of years ago, I did it in a bit of a rush, so I've kind of like copy and pasted from that. Okay, so fact number 1. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll back you to get this because I sat next to you in human biology for a number of years, and you got a head and shoulders. You know what's going on. All right. So the first ever goalie mask was worn by Jacques Plante. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly, but let's just say I have. And that was in 1959. So a lot of the goalie masks, they were like, back in the day, man, goalies wouldn't even wear masks. They would cop pucks to the face.
I've seen some of that stuff. I can't believe it.
It is fucking horrific. Disgusting. Yeah. So anyway, the first goalie mask was brought in by Jacques Plante after his brother, who was also a goalie, Pierre Plante, copped a puck to the nose and underwent surgery, and the puck shattered the bones in his nose so bad they had to actually remove. This is back in the 50s, so I don't know, surgery and whatnot, not that great. Actually had to remove his nose, and he actually only had like a little stump of a nose and slits, and that after that happened to Pierre, that's what inspired Jacques to wear the full mask. So, fact number 1, Jacques Plante introduced the first mask after his brother's nose got bloody pucked off. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, this is fact number 2. So after winning the Stanley Cup in 2015, there was one player on the Chicago Blackhawks who, when the players win the Stanley Cup, they get to have the cup for a day and they can cruise around and do whatever they want. There's some great footage of Martin Brodeur took it to a movie and ate popcorn out of it. You always put the champagne in there and bloody, party up a storm.
Yep.
Brent Seabrook of the Chicago Blackhawks won it in 2015. He got and it's the 3rd time he's won it, and he got a mold of a vagina, which he could insert into the top and have sex with the Stanley Cup. And he's the only person who has ever, gone the full distance with the Stanley Cup.
I don't know about that. He's the only one who's been, I guess, man enough. And see, look, people, I'm doing the fingers, all right? No sexism here. He's the only one man enough to own up to it and say, I fucked the cup.
That is not PC.
I fucked it. I fucked the cup. I reckon some people might have done it already, but
probably put a bit of Play-Doh in there and just. So, but Brent went the full distance and got it professionally made. Okay, so that's fact number 2. So the final fact is in the 1930s. Back, this is way before masks and everything. There was a goaltender called Albie Golbury playing in one of the minor teams, I think it was. It might have been in the NHL, I'm not 100% sure. Was goaltender, and halfway through the game, puck got fired at him, and all of a sudden his pants caught on fire, and his whole goalie gear just went up in flames, and he got very badly burnt. And his players managed to come over, rush and chop the cut the goalie gear off and everything like that, pull the laces out and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened is he had a box of matches, those strike matches, in his pocket, and the puck hit that and struck all the matches at once, and essentially he like spontaneously combusted after that. So
is it really spontaneous?
Those are your 3 facts.
Is it really spontaneous?
Well, I guess not technically, but it would have seemed like it at the time. Like, imagine you're like skating around and all of a sudden old mate's like crisping in the corner.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
So, yeah.
So what, I got to guess.
Yeah, which one is true of all those? Shark Plant, mask inspired by his brother's nose getting chopped off. Seabrook fucked the cup, or matches caught on fire, goalie went up in smoke.
Well, I mean, your last one sounds dodge just because the way you described it, I guess. But I'm just gonna go with
that. Could also be a ploy.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just gonna go with the fucking the cup thing. I think it's
wishful thinking.
I just know hockey players, and they're mature individuals. Are they going to be stooping to? I mean, you might find it funny, but you know, Jacob and I, we talk about the cup in good terms. So we respect it. Mate. We respect the cup. We respect women. I don't think it has to be said, but we respect women as well. So there's, I'm just trying to say that hockey players respect it as much as we do. So I don't think he would do that. So right. I'm going to call that number 2.
So you're saying that one's... No, there's 2 fake ones.
There's 2 are fake?
There's only 1 true one.
Oh.
Yeah. There's only 1 true one.
Okay, well then the face one's fake, so it's the fire one's true.
Fire one's true, man. Good work. You bloody nailed it. Check you out. I knew you could do it.
I don't know why. It just it just seemed stupid enough to have happened, but not so stupid that you made it up.
No, the other 2 I totally made up.
Okay.
I don't even think Jacques Plant had a brother called Pierre. I totally made that up.
And I've got some when I say dim, I'm talking dim recollection of seeing something about the documentary on like hockey gear or something. So,
okay. Oh wow!
But I'm pretty sure that didn't influence me whatsoever. Okay. All right. Well, that's
probably my favorite hockey fact.
Okay. Well, that pretty much wraps up the week. Anything else you wanted to add?
Nope. Set your lineups. Make it hard for us.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't care who wins the cup. I just don't want it to be Jacko.
You just don't want it to be fucked because now he knows about that. He'll probably make a specially made molded vagina out of it. And...
That'd be. I'm going to request the making of a new cup if I find out that he does
that. Yeah. Well, it's quite. I don't know if you've seen it too much, but it's quite. It would have some jagged edges on there, so.
Well, I'm guessing he's going in from the salad bowl end. You wouldn't want to go in from the Milo.
Yeah.
From the Milo tin end.
No. You can actually detach it though. It'll come in half.
No, you're giving him ideas.
Oh god. All right. I hope not. Yeah, no, I don't want Jacko to win either. Fuck that guy. Number 1, ditches us to go watch the Dolet. Number 2, he's already won it twice. Nobody needs to win it more than twice.
How many times have you won it?
I won it once. And Christy won it before that. Christy won it the 2nd year, but then she retired on top.
That's a good way to do it.
Actually
used to really piss me off when I used to play games with my brother when I was younger. That's what he used to do all the time. We'd load up a game. He'd win the first one. He'd like, okay, I'm not going to play anymore. I'm going to retire champion. He used to do it all the time. They used to really piss me off when he did that. Because I'd beat him in the first...
champion.
Yeah, I'd beat him in the first game and he wouldn't, Then I wanted to keep playing, right? I would never want to just quit after one game. I guess I wasn't as petty as him, but of course I'm going to say that about myself.
Help.
Yeah, he did that all the time.
Like Kim Jong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's bring in
Kim Jong Il after his.
Yeah, good analogy.
Golfing tournament.
Yeah.
See you later.
Where he hits hole in one on every shot, and then he retires. Yeah, you're right. Actually, then he retires, doesn't he?
I think it was like he got a hole in one on all shots except for one, right? And like,
he couldn't have had a. He couldn't. He's like, wait, it's too incredulous. All right, we don't want to. Let's not disparage North Korea too much. I don't want this podcast to get shot down. Kind of literally and metaphorically.
No, we're not in. I think Darwin's within range, but we're not in within range.
Didn't you? Oh, look, I really don't want to get into this now, but didn't you see the Four Corners thing about how he killed his stepbrother? Oh, mate, watch that.
Oh, man.
Watch the Four Corners.
Yeah?
And then you'll see
man,
you're not safe from anyone.
I've got Bobrovsky, you're off the case, and I've got
Four Corners.
Four Corners, Kim Jong.
Kim Jong Nam.
All right, sweet.
I think his name is Kim Jong Nam, the stepbrother.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's getting scary.
What was the other guy's name? Jack and J and D.
Jay and Dan. Yeah, look up just Jay and Dan highlights there. I would recommend everyone on the podcast. In the fancy Ugly Stick Fancy League podcast listening team. Yeah. Check out Jay and Dan. They are very funny, and obviously they're Canadian, and they were hockey color and commentary for a long time. So their stuff. And thing is now they're really into the UFC, of course, because that's what Fox is really big into, and also the football, which Americans call soccer, but
football. Oh, right. I thought you were talking about.
No, it was
NFL.
I was. Yeah. So they're really big. They're big into the NFL, and they're whatever what's that soccer league called? The M something.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue. The LA Galaxies. Band of Friendships.
MLS.
I think that's what it's called.
Major League Soccer. That's it.
Oh, right.
I knew I had an M in there. Cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up. Any final thoughts?
No, that's it. Set your lineups. That's about it. That's going to be a good sign-off, actually.
Set your lineups.
That's it from us.
That's it.
Set your lineups.